Okay, so you have an animation and you'd like to use a prop. For example, here I have my can and I want it to attach to the arm and drop it onto the shelf. So I already have my animation made here. So I'm going to go into frame one. What I'm going to do is just create a parenting system or a constraint. Okay, so I'm going to jump to the frame where it looks like I'm picking up my can. So that looks like here, 136. Let's zoom in a bit there as well. Okay, so 136. So here I'm going to go up to constrain. Now, notice that I'm on animation tab here. Constrain, parent options. And I'm going to make sure this maintain offset button is selected. Okay, so I want to make sure that I select the wrist first, and then the can, because the can is going to attach to the wrist. So parent, then child, like this. Okay, so 1 and then 2, and then constrain, and then parent. Okay, so notice this top half is green, this bottom half is red, and this here, blend parent, is switched on. Number 1 means on. So that's on right now. I'm just going to make sure that that is all keyed. Okay, so here it's switched on. My frame before it, I'd like it to be switched off because I don't want it to attach yet. So actually if I turn this to a 0 and then select all, keep all, that should be turned off then. Let's have a look. So play it through, switch on, and it's now attached. Great. So where do I want to let it go? A little bit further along the timeline. About, I would say there. Okay, so here I'm going to switch it off. So 0. And then make sure it's key all. Now notice that my can jumps back over here. Okay, it's not going to magically drop down here by itself. So I'm actually going to create a second can. I'm only going to turn on when this is let go. So here, on the same frame, I'm going to turn the visibility off. Okay, key all. Okay, so on my frame before, I want to make sure my visibility is on. Let's just make sure my can is selected. Can. So, this guy. Nice. Can. Okay. And here, my visibility. Here. My visibility is on. Okay, let's just check that worked. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. So we're good up to this point. So I need to create a duplicate can. So I'm going to select my can and controller, and I'm going to duplicate. So that's going to be Command D. So my second can is underneath, can 1. Okay, so I'm going to have the same issues here. So I want the visibility to be on, and I want the blend parent to be off. Okay, and save that. Okay, now the frame before, I want to make sure that that's turned off. Oops. Let's just make sure I'm selecting one can here. Check, so the frame before, I want to make sure my visibility is off. Check. Okay, let's just check that's working. Okay, great. Oh, this guy's appearing for some reason. Okay, I'm going to have to change that. Let's just check. Okay. Alright. So my can is, first can is reappearing here for some reason. So let's just double check that. Can 1 is turned off. Zoom in a bit on that. Yeah, it seems to turn itself back on. So let's just make sure that's off again. Okay, are you going to stay off? No, it's going to come back on with every single frame. So let's just, so go through and just make sure that your can is off and on where you want it to be. And here. Okay. So, where are we here? Okay, great. So this is looking good. So finally, the last thing you want to do is just animate your second can 1, down to the ground. So you should know how to do this already. Gonna let that drop. Okay, and then play your whole animation. It's further. Editor. Just get my can. Okay,